Welcome guys to a brand new video where we will be looking at the new Forex Weekly outlook and setups. I'll be starting on the daily with blank charts and you'll be doing the analysis with me. Well, you'll see how I start off the analysis for the week ahead. I'll start off on the daily and I'll work with GU, EU, Aussie dollar and probably pound yen as well. So on some of the charts, some of the pairs probably will do a bit less, but stay till the end if you want to see everything and get a full picture of what I'm looking at this week. So me also, I'm looking at this now for the first time this weekend, so we'll be looking at it together for the first time. So first of all, on the daily on GU, I'm noticing we have this full body candle with a clean push out that broke structure. So this is right off the bat, this is an area that I'm interested in looking for price to develop in, possibly looking for sales in and around this area. I do think we can see price moving a bit higher, maybe then moving sideways, consolidate a bit, and then see price push down lower. Ultimately, for the following few weeks, it would be nice to see price break this previous low. We can see price impulsively push down for 2 days, then we see price slowly coming back at a slower pace. This is also for me, I think, a sign that price is weaker coming back and might be stronger in moving down. So on the daily, this is something that I would consider from a higher time frame, a longer term perspective for price to reach this area down below. But we can also know that price can do anything it wants to do and could just blast through and look for the liquidity above this high as well. So it can still go both ways. That's why we need confirmation. In terms of this zone, I would love to see 50% of the zone being reached. So that red line is still for me up for grabs. So on the 4 hour, we can then obviously refine this zone and we can make it smaller. You can see this 4 hour candle and how the 50% of the daily zone aligns beautifully with the 4 hour zone. So that's already a good area for me to look for shorts in this area. We can just put a line at the 50% and we can take this away. We know now that this is more or less the 50% at that body close where we would potentially want to see price tap into and then reverse. Ideally, it would be great if we can see price moving slowly sideways and then on Tuesday see price tap into this area and then roll over towards the downside. That would be probably the perfect setup, but we don't always get perfect. But again, this is a very nice zone, full body candle, clean leg out, imbalance left behind, strong structure break. All the ingredients are there for a good meal, good recipe. Things are looking good in this area. We have a nice previous day high. Potentially, price could move up higher, take out the liquidity above this high, tap into that area, see price slamming down, structure breaks towards the downside, pullbacks towards an order block, and then price going down lower. So ideally, in this area, I would be looking for price to go up, reach that area, maybe consolidate a bit, and then eventually or either have another liquidity grab, structure break, a return to an order block, and then a continuation down. If we just look on the 4 hour, we have various zones in this area that could act as magnets for price to return to. We have this low over here aligning with this low, and then we also have all of the imbalance in this area, but also on the lower time frames, we probably have an order block in that area as well. Shorter term targets would just be these lows, I think. Do not overestimate or overanalyze, overpredict. So ideally, price to reach this area and then move down lower. Let's just have a look on the 1 hour. You might be able to take some longs up into that area. We can see we have this candle over here. We'll look on the 30-minute now, if we can refine it. Probably that low, that candle, that pin bar candle, would be the zone that I would be looking at for price to maybe tap into. Looking for longs then to go up higher. This candle swept these lows over there and then impulsive move towards the upside. So I do think it's reasonable to expect price to come down lower into this region and then move up higher again. On the 50-minute, there's our full body candle, impulsive move up, and we have some imbalance in that area as well. So that is a good zone for me that I would be potentially be looking for buys early on in the week, perhaps Monday, if we can tap into this area. But overall bullishness into this area and then looking for bearishness going down lower. So that is currently the view on GU. Let's have a look at the next one. EU will start again on the daily. EU has been difficult for me. We've been just pushing down towards the downside. So even on the daily, it's nothing really super clear for me. We've broken below these lows, and everyone was expecting price to come back up higher. We haven't seen it. We had this leg towards the downside. We haven't even pulled back into 50% off that leg towards the downside. So EU has not been respecting levels to well for me personally. Maybe for you, then I'm glad. If we look at this leg, we did see price reach 50%. If we then drop down to the 4 hour, we can see this was the leg that broke structure. So that's an important key. Look at the legs or the impulsive legs that broke structure, either towards the downside or upside. That's important. We saw price just tap the 50%, but we still have, I would say, this zone as a selling area, supply demand, whatever you want to call it. This is an area where I would be looking for sells for various reasons. It's a range that has not yet been retested again. When we have a range, we break out. We would often want to see price come back towards that range, retest it, and then move down, lower. So it's a free nugget if you want to take it. If not, leave it at the door. Okay, so I think we can move up higher on EU still, probably into this area, and then maybe look for shorts because the daily is bearish. As soon as we really strongly break above this area, I would really consider it being bullish. But I do think we are still more bearish. So counter trend trade up into this area, buys, and then potentially sells from this area from a higher time frame point of view. I'm not going to go down to the 1 hour on EU. I'm not a fan this week of EU. Well, let's just have a quick look if we can refine our areas. Even it's so messy in this area. This area could be an area, but it's not a full body candle, so it's not completely in plan. There's a full body candle, but there's no clean move leg out of it. So it's really a tough call to make for me personally. So I would just want to see a reaction in this area and then get a confirmation entry. So that is EU. So currently not a fan of EU. Aussie dollar has been moving quite nicely. This is another one where I'm kind of moving in the opposite direction. I'll show you now. So I've been, for the community, I've been shouting this area, this region, where we have a full body candle, clean push out, and a structure break. So there's a structure break, clean push out. We also have some imbalance, and then also some previous highs for liquidity. So we can just put some symbols in there. We have some small amount of imbalance in there, and then we also have the coffee mug because we like coffee on this channel, and this is what we are drawn to for all those coffee addicts that can relate. This is our zone. Just don't, if you don't understand, it's just my way of saying liquidity. So we can see then the price did reach that area. So I took a short in this area. I'll show you now how this short played out. But just analysis wise, we did reach into this area now. So I'm expecting price to potentially move a bit lower. You can see we have all of this trend line liquidity. So all of this trend line liquidity, people taking longs, seeing taps on the trend line. All of this is just liquidity below that blue line. So I do expect price to either we can make a short pullback and then move down lower. I'm not exactly sure where we'll react because I'm not seeing a nice full body candle with impulsiveness in this area. Maybe something in here on the lower time frames. Who knows? Let's see. Okay, this does not look bad for an area where price could react. If we are more bullish, then this could potentially be an area for price to reach into. So more or less that is what I'm currently looking at on Aussie dollar. Let me quickly show you the trade setup on with NFP. So first of all, on the 15 minutes, we have some very nice equal highs within the coffee zone, liquidity zone, coffee zone. So we have some very nice liquidity in this area. NFP came, we tapped into this region that I've been spoken about. I think I even spoke about this zone in last week's analysis. So if you haven't checked it out, there's the link. Hopefully it will show up on the screen. Have a look at it, and then let's follow along on this week. We tapped into that area. If we drop down to the 1 minute, let me show you what we saw on the 1 minute. So we had the NFP push up into that area, and then we had this big push down, price coming back up, and we're failing to hold this area. So this is our most recent buy area now in this green box. We pushed, failed to make above, so we kept pushing down in this area. We're not making higher highs. Then we broke structure again. There's a strong structure break, and we have our full body candle in this area. There's the full body candle. This turns now into a sell area where we have our entry there, stop loss above the high, and then just looking at the most recent lows. There's the most recent lows. It's consolidated, but that was then the trade for a quick 5%. Very easy, very simple, just following the same steps over and over and over again, just following the same process. But anyway, we're digressing. That was last week. Potentially then looking for price to go lower into this area to take out all the trend line liquidity. This whole region is relatively good for me. I think price could return into this area before looking for longs further. So in a different world, if I had better psychology, I would have held this trade potentially, but I closed it out before the weekend. So that is Aussie dollar. Let's have a quick look at pound yen. I think pound yen is up next. Yes, it is. So I've been raging about pound yen. It has been very good for me the past few weeks. Very nice buy zone in here. We had then liquidity as in that high, as well as this order block. That was the target. That was the area for price to reach into. From this area, which is then the point A, we moved all the way up into point B, made a small pullback, and then smashed right through it. So now we need to see what is up next. What is the zones? What are the areas where we would potentially see price moving into next? So first of all, let's just identify the most recent full body candles. Not seeing anything on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour in this area. Maybe if we drop to 1 hour, let's have a look on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, you can see we had one over here. Let's make it green for buying. We pushed up into solid breaking structure. Not seeing anything here, but I am seeing this trend line liquidity, potentially liquidity over here. This candle could be an area for buys because that's where big momentum, just before big momentum came into the market, and we have this level of imbalance in there as well. So that is a potential area where I think price could be drawn to, returning to. Not sure what it will do until then, but when I have a destination, I can take sells into that destination. So potentially I'll be looking for sells going down into this area on the 1 hour early in the week. So that is then the quick analysis for GJ as well. Guys, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to keep it short and simple. Let me know down in the comments if you like this analysis, if it looks the same as yours. And then, yes, have a great week, and then see you again Tuesday for the Tuesday Outlook and Setups. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe.